kill somebody, because we are very fortunate. This could have been a head-on collision where 4 or 5 or 6 people could have been killed.
These are pictures of 26-year-old Gil Costello as he's released from Mariners Hospital in custody of Monroe County Sheriff's deputies. He faces a variety of charges in Monroe County, including the possibility of attempted murder. Back live here, we can tell you that attempted murder charge just might come because he apparently attempted to run over a police officer here in Monroe County. We'll, of course, continue to piece this story together for you and have much more for you tonight at 6 o'clock. Meanwhile, my colleague Michelle Kaczynski has much more. Michelle?
Actually, Hank, we'll take it back. There was also the person that that hijacker took the car from, who he apparently hit in the head with a blunt object, and that happened in Southwest Miami-Dade.
And let's go to Michelle Kaczynski, who is there now live. Michelle?
Right, we're outside the house. You can see crime scene investigators are still there, and they're also in this area talking to some neighbors. And just a few minutes ago, they did release the name of the victim. It's 53-year-old Paul Leverett, and they say it was his house guest that ended up beating him severely over the head with a hammer here and then stealing his SUV. Miami-Dade police tell us they have no idea how the two middle-aged men living in this house knew 26-year-old Gil Costello. But they tell us they do know he was living here with them as a house guest for at least the past several days. They also tell us earlier in the day he asked one or both of the owners here for some money and didn't get any. And they think that's how all of this started, when the victim was home alone with Mr. Costello.
It became involved in some sort of a dispute, possibly over money, but we're really not sure at this point. The dispute escalated into a fisticuffs. The owner of the house was actually physically beaten with a blunt object. He was later airlifted to Jackson Hospital's trauma center. The man took off in the victim's vehicle.
Police tell us the victim, covered in blood and severely injured, stumbled out of his house and made it here to the edge of the road where he collapsed. They tell us a passerby driving by saw the man here but thought it was a Halloween prank. Eventually, though, thought better of it. That passerby called police, and this is where rescuers found him, right on the side of the road. Neighbors around here say they didn't hear anything or see anything and didn't know what the situation was about.
Everybody out. Victim's SUV. Officers saw the suspect take off, and then they took off after him.
The dispute over an undisclosed topic, possibly money, we haven't really ironed that out yet. All we can say for sure at this time, it was a blunt object.
The Chase live here on NBC6. We want to let you know that car chases are certainly not something we typically cover live. However, in this case, dozens of lives, if not more, were in danger. As you probably saw, there was a great risk to our community, and our signal, together with the radio simulcast on 87.7, helped keep a lot of people out of harm's way. In fact, we saw a lot of people pull over on the roads as that car was driving through the areas in Key Largo as well. So we're happy that we were able to do that. Meanwhile, tonight, on to some other news. Police are investigating.
Police on a wild chase, a carjacking suspect dodging traffic, doing U-turns on the highway, even flying down the wrong side of the turnpike. The suspect taking off after allegedly beating a man in Southwest Miami-Dade.
And he did not stop until just past Tavernier in the Keys. And 7's Brian Andrews is there for us live. Brian?
Doctors here at the Tavernier Hospital checked this guy out, and now he's in jail here in Monroe County, where he's facing a number of charges here and in Miami-Dade because of this incredibly dangerous chase.
It started here in Southwest Miami-Dade. Police say 26-year-old Gil Costello assaults a friend with a hammer, steals his truck, and takes off. At speeds of more than 100 miles an hour, he leads police through Florida City into the Keys. Monroe County deputies are waiting in Key Largo as he zips by at a very dangerous speed and keeps on going. His tires are eventually blown out by a spike strip. Home video captures the very end. Listen as a small crowd heckles him as he's on the ground being treated for injuries. Then he's driven away to a local hospital in the ambulance.
Some come by, both of his front tires are blown out, and a bunch of people threw rocks at him.
Gil Costello is being treated at the hospital for injuries from rocks and bricks thrown at him by pedestrians along US 1 as he zipped by in the police pursuit, and for a leg injury he sustained when he jumped out of the car and the rear tires rolled over him.
I'm nervous. It was unreal. I just couldn't believe it. That he got this far is kind of ridiculous.
This is crazy. It's the craziest thing that's ever happened in the Keys.
So a Miami-Dade story turns into a classic Keys moment. People on the side of US 1 throwing bicycles, bricks, and rocks. The guy breaking his leg. They're even calling 911 here in Monroe County, trying to tell the sheriff's office how to do their job with the spike strips, which is highly unadvisable according to a press release I've seen. They say everything's under control and the guy's going to be spending quite an amount of time in jail, probably up north in Miami-Dade County where this whole thing started. We're live in the Keys tonight. I'm Brian Andrews, 7 News.
And that wild chase, not the only one in South Florida today. Coming up, how a robbery spree.
Suspect leads cops on a high-speed chase for more than an hour. Down the southbound lanes of the Florida Turnpike. At one point, down the northbound lanes of the Turnpike, but not hitting anyone. The chase hitting speeds up to 100 miles an hour. The end coming in the Florida Keys after the suspect loses at least one tire. Then he pulls off the highway and jumps out to surrender. He's run over by the SUV. Look at that. And we don't know where the blood on the other leg came from. He's in the hospital now. No word on condition. Washington, an early morning water main break in the nation's capital, putting on a spectacular old...
Over here is the home of a man police tell us is Paul Leverett. Paul apparently had a guy who's living with him named Gil Costello, and today the two of them got into a heated argument. So heated that police say Gil pulled out a hammer and beat Paul senseless. Then they say that Gil jumped in Paul's truck and led them on a 90-minute, multi-county major police pursuit. Hours after the incident that ended up in a chase, police are still trying to figure out what happened inside this home that caused two men to go at it.
It started here in southwest Miami-Dade. Police say 26-year-old Gil Costello assaults a friend with a hammer, steals his truck, and takes off. At speeds of more than 100 miles an hour, he leads police through Florida City into the Keys. Monroe County deputies are waiting in Key Largo as he zips by at a very dangerous speed and keeps on going. His tires are eventually blown out by a spike strip. Home video captures the very end. Listen as a small crowd heckles him as he's on the ground being treated for injuries. Then he's driven away to a local hospital in the ambulance.
Some come by, both of his front tires are blowing out, and a bunch of people threw rocks at him.
Gil Costello is being treated at the hospital for injuries from rocks and bricks thrown at him by pedestrians along US 1 as he zipped by in the police pursuit, and for a leg injury he sustained when he jumped out of the car and the rear tires rolled over him.
The guy driving by with two tires blown out, and he's driving by really fast, and everybody was looking at him, so.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, this is crazy. The craziest thing that's ever happened in the Keys.
Tell you, this kind of thing happens all the time in Los Angeles, once in a blue moon here in South Florida. Here's a quick update for you. Gil Costello, the guy who led people on this high-speed chase, well, he's going to be spending the night in the Keys. All expenses paid at the Monroe County Jail. Miami-Dade cops are going to go down there tomorrow and pick him up after he goes before a judge. Paul Leverett, the guy who lives here where this whole thing started, he's still in the hospital tonight in serious condition after being beaten with that hammer. Reporting live from southwest Miami-Dade, I'm Brian Andrews, 7 News Night Team.
The night team also on the case.
A two-county chase lasting more than an hour, ending in a police takedown in Plantation Key. The suspect, the carjacker there, Gil Costello, taking off after getting into some kind of an altercation with a man in southwest Miami-Dade and allegedly beating another man with a hammer. That's when police say he stole the other man's truck and the chase began. South down US 1 right into the Keys.
Guy driving by with two tires blown out, and he's driving by really fast, and everybody was looking at him, so.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, this is crazy. The craziest thing that's ever happened in the Keys.
The chase reaching speeds of 100 miles per hour, bystanders hurling rocks and other objects as the suspect as he raced on by. The chase ended when Costello jumped from the vehicle and surrendered to police. He is set to appear in court sometime today.
Serial suspect in the September 11th.
Who is that guy? I think I know him.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Oh, my God! Monica, he's the stripper from your bachelorette party.
Her what? Your secret bachelorette party.
You had a bachelorette party?
She untied his G-string with her teeth.
Somebody stop me!
I thought we weren't going to have bachelorette parties. You know, we agreed that it was a silly tradition.
It's a grand tradition.
I'm sorry. They surprised me. There was nothing I could do.
Well, you could have untied it with your hands.
Oh,
This is so unfair. The one thing I wanted to do is throw my best friend a bachelor party, but I wasn't allowed to. All we got was a stupid steak dinner.
You went home with the waitress.
Yeah, that was a pretty good night.
I can't believe you didn't tell me. You know that the two pillars of marriage are openness and honesty.
oh, I knew giving you that book was going to come back and bite me in the ass.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the old way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, a week, a month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you. So there for you too.
Friends is sponsored in part by Warner Brothers' Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Meet the students at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
Draco Malfoy.
It's true then. Harry Potter has come to Hogwarts. He's rather disagreeable, isn't he?
Ronald Weasley.
That's wizard's chess.
Hermione Granger.
Check this out for a bit of light reading. This is light.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.